Today is we're going to show you 12 times when humans encountered animals that asked for help, even though they can't communicate by word of mouth. Credit to these humans, as they were able to interpret and immediately offer the needed help to these animals. 12. Whale shark. In the March of 2000, Joe and his friends were fishing near Sydney, Australia, when a whale shark approached their boat. The shark, as seen in the footage, hangs around, probably waiting to be noticed. On close examination, Joe saw the desperate fish had a rope tightly lashed around its body. This was making it difficult for the shark to swim, since the movement of the dorsal fins was limited. Joe, together with the help of his friends, tried to cut the rope, and to their amusement, the shark patiently stayed afloat without any sign of attacking or swimming away. After what seemed like a decade, they managed to cut loose the rope calico, and the whale shark swim away as peacefully as it had arrived. What would you have done if the whale shark and approached you? 11. Elephant. Truly the largest mammal on the planet is a fascinating creature who is also very intelligent. An elephant. Unfortunately, elephants are listed as vulnerable to becoming endangered species because of being the favorites of poachers for their ivory. Veterinary doctors in Zimbabwe were utterly shocked when a huge African elephant walked up to them asking for help. At first, the doctors who were out in the wild on a patrol were uncertain if it was just the usual of an elephant being territorial. But on a closed, they noticed a bullet wound on its head. They immediately knew that they had to act fast, as the bullet hole had become infected, and the gentle giant seemed to be in excruciating pain. To avoid causing more trauma on moving the elephant, the vets had him sedated and then examined his skull out there in the wild. Next ray of the skull revealed that the poacher's bullet was only a few centimeters from being a kill shot out in the wild. The doctors managed to successfully remove the bullet. The elephant, now named Pretty Boy, got a chance to live longer. What's fascinating is how the elephant was able to tell that the vets were the good guys and entrusted them with his life. I mean, how did Pretty Boy tell they were not poachers? Fortunately, it is said that an elephant never forgets good if the poacher never crosses its path again. In this next video, a mother elephant in Thailand is captured crying for help in the cover of darkness. The mother elephant is stuck on an electric fence and unknown to the rescuers or babies. Stuck in a ditch, the mother elephant has seen gets stunned by the current passing through the fence, and rescuers rush to turn off the power, and getting up, the mother elephant then leads the rescuers to her trapped baby. As if to understand, the mother elephant gives the rescuers a humble space and time to rescue her baby as she watches from a. Finally, the baby is pulled out of the ditch, and they both rush to each other. Enjoy. The mother elephant and her baby then disappear into the night. How satisfying. 10. King Cobra. What would you do if a snake approached you? Not just any snake, but a 10+ foot long cobra. I mean, I would take off if not stumping on its head. Well, in India, snakes are fond of asking for help. As we all know, summer could be a tough time for everyone. So why should snakes be any different in this footage? A 12-foot cobra is rescued from an Indian village where it had slithered into. Since it was during the dry season, the cobra was looking for a drink to cool her. The rescue workers are recorded feeding the cobra water from a bottle. What a tender moment to see. After quenching its thirst, the rescue workers then take the cobra to a sanctuary. Honestly, this is adorable yet terrifying at the same time. Or what do you think? What would you have done if a snake approached you without aggression? 9. Fox Cub. In June 2013, this video of a young fox with its head stuck in a glass jar was uploaded on YouTube. Even though we don't know the exact location judging from the language used in the video, this was taken somewhere in Russia and able to free Ted. This young fox walks up to these men who happily free his head from the jar on being freed. The fox trots away as it runs. One of the Russian men has heard asking, "Hey, what's our thank you for the shoulder?" The young fox, as if it has understood the question, stops, looks back at the men as if giving a nod of gratitude, and then trots into the forest. How courteous of the fox. Do you show appreciation when help is offered to you? In this other footage, a mother fox has filmed while asking for help in Israel. The fox approaches this lady and leads her to where newborn pups are nestled. When fox pops up, both the mother and father share the care, as the pup care is a family business. Unfortunately, this mother pup could not trace the father and was probably overwhelmed with care for the pups alone. The kind lady then steps in as a surrogate father and feeds the mother fox as well as her pups. This fox goes against all odds and entrusts the kind lady to provide for them. Truly, a mother's love is indisputable. 8. Bottlenose Dolphin. On the 11th of January 2013, a group of photographers diving deep in the waters, Kalua, Hawaii, met with one of the magnificent creatures of the deep seas of Bottlenose Dolphin. The dolphin swam close to them while circling them until one of the divers saw what was disturbing. The dolphin was entangled with discarded fishing gear. A fishing hook and line were deep into one of the dorsal, limiting its movement. One of the divers signals to the dolphin to move closer, and it surprisingly obeys and moves close to the diver. As seen in the footage, the diver then cuts the fishing line and discards the hook using a pair of scissors, freeing the dolphin. The relieved dolphin is then seen swimming away, happily of course. Before we move on, 7 Sea Turtle, a diver deep into the sea near the sea bottom, is filming his view of the coral reef when he notices a sea turtle approaching him. As the sea turtle gets closer, the diver notices that it has something, probably a rock, stuck on its back. The diver then goes ahead and the sea turtle then turns and looks at the diver as if to say thank you, mate, and then swims away. What's fascinating is not only how the sea turtle realized it had something stuck on its back, but also how the turtle figured that the diver can take it off, and the diver would be smart enough to understand the kind of help he was asking for. How intelligent, right? In this other video, a sea turtle is caught in a fishing net. He then swims towards boaters, who quickly cut him loose. The boaters then release the turtle back into the sea, and he happily swims away, disappearing into the dark depths of the sea. 6 Chimpanzee. While visiting the zoo, visitors were mesmerized as a smart chip points at a drink and one of the shopping bags. A lady takes out a bottle of soda, and the chimp quickly leads her to the dropping point, only that it's a small hole in the glass window. She then pours the chimp the drink, who is seen sipping happily at one point. The chimp has also seen pointing at a banana and signals to the lady to throw it over to her. Unfortunately, the chimp is in a completely enclosed and sealed setting, and thus the only thing you will get to enjoy today is the drink. Just as smart as it of the chimp to ask for a banana and a drink and also lead the lady to the. In this other video, a zoo visitor is seen helping out an orangutan. The orangutan asked for banana peels at pizza and then throws back the banana peels of the visitor. I bet the orangutan knows more of keeping this place clean than most of you, isn't it? A smart orangutan, that one, don't you think? 5 Dog. In the streets of India, a mother dog has captioned willing for her puppy. The puppy had been hit by a car and was in excruciating pain, making it impossible for it to walk. Rescue workers were trying to calm the mother, as well as offer immediate help to the puppy. As the rescue worker tries to lift up the puppy has heard crying in pain, and the mother joins him in crying to the rescuers. Rushed the puppy to the operating room. On close examining, the puppy had 2 deep puncture wounds on his shoulders, explaining why he couldn't walk. After a few weeks of rest, medicine, food care, and love, the puppy is able to walk again. What a happy reunion with his mother today. The puppy, named Toggle, can hop and play about thanks to the rescue workers and her mom. Clearly the mother wanted to help, but couldn't do it alone. Oh yes, I know your eyes are watery. How touching for fall. In North California, a little fawn was bleeding close to Ember's residence, and when he noticed that he had gotten her attention, he quickly ran towards her. The fawn snuggled between her feet and even licked her ankles. Poor little dear must have been hungry and just a few days old, because he could barely stand on his feet. You can't eat normally out in the wild, whether deer leave their little fawns as they go in search of food and water. This little fawn must have been left somewhere near Amber's house. Amber left the little deer and hoped that he would reunite with his mother after a few hours. Amber couldn't find her, and so she thought that this little guy was back in his mother's company. Amber went on with her day's work, and when it came to bedtime, she couldn't sleep, as she kept worrying about the little deer. They went out to search for him, and luckily they found him asleep on a rock. They took them in and rehydrated him with milk through a glove and even named it. This is all we got. The next morning, Scott seemed pretty excited to have gotten the help he needed. Turner's Deer Camp Phone Rescue reached out to Amber and took Scott under their care and raised him alongside other little deers. And once he is ready, he'll be released into the wild. Another little deer wandered its way in search of her mother. When she unfortunately landed in a pool of water, she was able to cross to the other side, and someone managed to pull her out of the water wet. No, the little deer was left in a dry place, a few steps away from where she'd been found, to give her mother enough time to locate her. A few hours later, she went back to people, and from her bleeding, you could tell that she needed help. She was taken in by the Woodlands Wildlife Sanctuary and given the care she needed. She even got a stuffed that would keep her warm and kill the loneliness. A few days later, she was joined by another orphan fawn. The two grew fond of each other, and within no time they were joined by 4 other fawns. They all seemed to be healthy. 3 sea lion, all out in the California, and see a group of boaters were approached by a sea lion. The sea lion, as seen in the footage, hops onto the boat ladder, and one of the boaters helps them on board. The boaters at first thought that the sea lion just wanted to ride, but on close Examining, they notice that he is injured and in desperate need for help. The sea lion has a wound on his mouth, which appears to have been inflicted by fishing gear. The boaters immediately inform the harbor patrol, who respond quickly and deliver help to the injured sea lion. Another reminder that animals are definitely smart enough to ask humans for help as any animal ever asked you for. The tiger, as much as it is hard to believe, tigers do ask humans for help. A village in Russia woke up to a shock after they found a tigress peacefully sleeping on the veranda of one of the homes they had previously encountered tigers. But not in this manner. They were surprised and scared at the same time. They quickly got in touch with the necessary rescue body, who then sedated the tigress to ease or relocation. Bad shape. After careful examination at the rehabilitation center, it was discovered that the tigress had damaged teeth and gums as a result. She was unable to feed herself for several days and have become very weak. The tigress got the medication she needed, and she could also feed on soft minced meat. Her condition is stable, and she will be forever grateful that she landed on a good person's home. Still in Russia, a tiger went to seek help in a man's home. His instincts led him there, and this man was a paramedic. The doctor had heard some noise in the middle of the night, but it quickly subsided and he thought it was nothing to worry about. When you got up to go to work, he could not leave the house because his door had refused to open. He resorted to going out through the window and figuring out why the door was. On his way to the door, he could see large paw prints on the saw, and he immediately knew that he was in for a rude shock. He came face to face with a tiger. He had no time to get back in the house, so he resulted in standing there. I know some of you would have dropped dead, but this man just stood there, and the tiger walked slowly towards him. The paramedic then realized that the tiger had a steel wire around his neck, the kind that is used by post. Some of it had gone into his skin. The paramedic treated the tiger, and for the next 2 weeks, the tiger recovered in the paramedic shed. He was fed by the locals, and the paramedic ensured that his health was intact. What's even more surprising is that the tiger showed no sign of aggression. After the 2 weeks were over, the tiger disappeared. A few days later, the paramedic had trouble opening his door. He could see a tiger's paw prints, but this time around there was a dead deer on his door. The paramedic believed that this was the tiger's way of saying, "Don't you let us know in the comments section below." It is now time for the honorable mention of our subscriber pick of the day. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, wondering if there is any possibility for an animal as shy as a squirrel to even approach humans for help. If you come across a peculiar photo online, send it over to us. We will look into it. Who knows, it might feature in our next video. Now we looked into this photo and we are excited to reveal to you that indeed, when in extreme times, all sorts of wild animals will come to humans for help. No matter how shy or dangerous they are, there's a squirrel out there who really need it. So, and this brings us to our number 1 squirrel. How does it feel when you're thirsty, dry mouth, hoarse voice, dry throat, name them all? And how good does it feel when you finally quench your thirst? Well, in this footage, a squirrel is seen asking for water from a kid. The kid then goes ahead and opens the bottle and feeds the squirrel, which is seen taking in big gulps until the bottle runs empty. The squirrel that hops away in satisfaction must have been one thirsty squirrel. And that's it for the 12 animals that asked for help. Which of these animals overwhelmed your heart? Have you helped any animal today? Let us know in the comments below. Get out there and spread the love through helping.